Hello, it's Friday. It's yoga at the Senior Center. I'm Joyce and I'm glad to have you join me. I'd like to remind you to let your body be your guide. If you find any posture that's uncomfortable as we practice today, just modify until it is comfortable. Or find another posture and join us when you can. Just be content with being on your mat at this moment. So, having said that, let's begin with the breath. Just noticing your own natural flow of breath. If you'd like, close your eyes, place one hand on your chest and one on your belly. Relax, ground, center. Now begin to deepen your breath. Try and inhale all the way to your belly. Hold that breath there for a few moments. And then using your diaphragm, just push it all the way out. Wait for a moment and begin again. Not only do I want you to think about your breath, but I want you to listen to it. Listen to it as it passes through your throat. It can sound like ocean waves or the wind blowing through the trees. So as we practice today, try and stay attuned to the sounds, the sensations, and the balanced flow of your breath. So let's bring our hands to heart center, thumbs on your sternum, and now bringing your fingers to your third eye. This symbolizes the heart-mind connection. And from this place of inner connection, I'd like for you to take a few moments to reflect on why you've come to your mat. What is your inner purpose? What is your intention? I have an inner peace quote to read to you today by Norman Vincent Pearl. The life of inner peace, being harmonious and without stress, is the easiest type of existence. Hands at heart. Let's inhale up and exhale down. Again, inhaling up and exhaling down. One more time to inhale up, separate your palms, Begin to wiggle your fingers and your wrist, first one way and then the other. Begin to engage your elbows and your shoulders. Now reversing. Come to stillness. Bring your little fingers in and out, in and out. One more time. In, and then make fists. And open. Fist. Open. One more time. Bring your fingers together, interlace, stretch to the sky. Breathe, relax. And now, lowering your arms to shoulder height, arching your back in a seated cat position. Take a breath, come back to sit, palms together. Open your arms out wide, feeling your shoulder blades on your back. And again, overhead, interlace, palms to the sky. But this time, let's bring them down, place them behind your neck, raise your chin and your chest, and just breathe. Relax. Palms up, stretching, and again, lowering to shoulder height, arching your back. One more seated cat, and now bring your hands to your knees, shoulders up, down, and back. Again, up, down, and back. Add in a couple shoulder rolls. Reverse. And now choose a hand, place it about 6 inches from your hip, raise the other to the sky, stretch, gaze up at your palm. And now bend the elbow of the grounded hand and lean in that direction. Choose your drishti. It can be out at the horizon, down at your grounded hand. Choice is yours. Straighten your elbow, open your chest to the sky, and breathe. Come back to upright, and we're going to move into a twist. So bring your upstretched hand to your grounded knee, your grounded hand behind, gazing over your shoulder. Raising your grounded hand, stretch. And now lean in the opposite direction. Unwind, shoulders up, down, and back, shoulder rolls, reversing. Now it's time to change. Ground your hand about 6 inches from your hip. Raise the other above. Bend the elbow of your grounded hand and lean in that direction, choosing your drishti. Straighten your elbow, open your chest. Coming back to center. And now we're going to move into our twist, bringing our outstretched hand to the opposite knee, grounded hand behind, gazing over your shoulder. Raising your grounded hand and now leaning in the opposite direction. So unravel. I'm going to come off my blanket. Get rid of my glasses. And let's come in to bound angle pose. Holding your feet or your knees, whatever is most comfortable for you. Stretch. And now release, bringing in your right leg for cradle the baby. And you can cradle however you choose. I like to rock. Now we're going to turn our posture into a twist. So straighten out your right leg. You can clasp your foot or your shin, whichever is most comfortable for you. Place your right hand behind and just gently twist to the right. Let's ground your right leg, and you can hug it with your left elbow, or you can place your elbow on the other side of your leg. Hand down or up, choice is yours. This is just a little deeper twist. Let's unwind and make our way into Z pose. I have my left foot on my right knee and my right heel close to my sit bone. I'm going to turn to the left. You can stay here in your counter twist, or you can come down to your elbows or make your way to your mat. If you choose to do that, see if you can put your right cheek on the mat and just breathe. Rise up, come back into bound angle, and again, clasping onto your toes or your knees, whatever works the best for you. This is a great stretch for those that spend a lot of time in front of a computer or sewing or doing dentistry. So, let's switch legs. We're going to bring our left leg in for cradle the baby. You can cradle your baby however you want to. We're going to turn this into a twist now. So slide your foot, or excuse me, your hand to your foot or your shin. Bring your left hand behind and just gently turn to the left. Now ground your left hand. You can hug it with your right elbow, or you can bring that arm on the other side of your knee for a deeper twist. Hand down or up. Just turn to the left. Let's unwind, find our Z pose on the other side. If we're at my right foot on my left thigh, my left heel close to my sit bones. I'm going to turn to the right. You have a choice here of walking down on your elbows or making your way to your mat. This time, try and put your left cheek on the mat and just breathe. Let's rise up. Bring your knees in for a hug. Find that little area of balance on your sit bone. Our next posture is a boat pose, so if you'd like to, you can stay right here in your boat, or you can bring your hands out to shoulder height and your feet, or your hands upstretched and your feet to follow. Just breathe. Let's fold. Now we're going to go into a forward fold. So I like to sway. I'm going to sway down. Doesn't make any difference how low, as long as you're comfortable with your fold. This is one of those places that if you want to rest on your block, it's a great way to stretch. Let's come back up. And now place your hands behind you, at least a foot, maybe a little further, trying to make a diagonal line from our shoulder to our knee. And once you're comfortable with that, then raise your chest and your chin and just let your head rest in the cradle you've made with your shoulder blades. Let's come back to upright, and one more time into fold. And let's slide up and make our way to hands and knees in whatever fashion works for you. Finding ourselves in table, at wrist under shoulders, knees under hips. I like to sway or swing. Let's come to stillness. Take a breath in your table. And now arching your back and dropping your head and your tail, come into cat. Now inhale as you raise your head and your tail and let your belly sling low. Our next posture is cat bow, so bending your elbows, bringing your chin to the mat, coming back up and back to child's pose for a breath. Inhaling up, exhaling into your cat, inhaling into your cow, coming to cat bow, and back to child's pose to breathe. Inhaling up, exhaling in cat, inhaling into cow, one more time to cat bow and child's pose. Now slide your hands forward a little bit on your mat and bring your sit bones high. This is puppy pose. You can drop your chin if you'd like. Now sliding your hands back, curling your toes under, come up into your first down dog of the day. Let's take a little movement, bending your right knee, your left, right, and left. Coming up on your toes, now lowering your heels towards the mat. Take a breath. Raise your right leg high, point your toe, flex your foot. Again, pointing your toe and flexing your foot. Bring that foot through and place it between your hands, finding yourself in a low lunge. So, if you'd like to, use your blocks. This is a great place for them. We're going to stay here for a couple more breaths before we change. I'm going to give you a choice here. You can ground your back foot at a 45-degree angle to come up into a warrior one. Or if you choose to, you can stay on the ball of your foot and come up into a high lunge. We're going to stay and breathe from whichever posture you've chosen. And now we're going to turn it into an extended arm posture. So just coming forward, feeling the strength of your pose. Now lowering your hands to the mat. We're going to turn our posture into a twist. So here again, this is a great place for a block. Grounding your left hand, raising your right to the sky. Let's frame your front foot again. Drop your left knee, flatten out your foot, and come up into devotion pose. Both arms are overhead, but we are going to turn this posture into a twist. So, right arm back, left arm forward, turning your torso to the right. Stay and breathe. Arms overhead. And now framing that front foot with your hands, rock back. Finding yourself in half monkey god. Here again, this great place for your blocks. So you can stay here if you want to. If you'd rather, you can slide on down into head to knee pose. Now it's time to change. So ground your front foot. Curl the toes of your back foot under. And again, good place for blocks. Come on up into a pyramid pose. In your pyramid, your front knee's straight. Your back foot's about a 45-degree angle. If you want to turn this into a head to knee, you sure can. Bring your hands forward a bit. Knee to nose. And now bending your front knee, putting your weight there, and in your hands, bring your back foot to meet your front. Finding yourself in a halfway lift. Let's go ahead and turn our forward fold into ragdoll. Opposite hands to opposite elbows. Rocking back and forth. Take a breath. Let's swan dive up and touch, adding a mini back bend. And now bringing your hands down to go up, bending your knees deeply, but yet being able to look down and see your toes. Take a breath. Bring your hands to heart center. And now we're going to turn this into a twist. So turning to your right, bringing your left elbow on the outside of your right thigh, looking over your right elbow. Take a breath. Come back to center and to upward salute. For one more mini back bend, bringing your hands to heart for a resting breath. Heart opening. Inhaling open and exhaling close. Inhaling open and exhaling close. I'm going to turn toward you. Our balance is next, so let's do some twist and slap. Couple monkey stretches. Finding ourselves in stillness. Today's balance is a standing half lotus. So we're going to start with the Lotus Mudra. And I wanted to read to you what this symbolizes. The nurturing the garden of my heart, allowing for the blossoming of unconditional love. So, here we are in our lotus. Put your weight in your right foot, and now just take your left foot and place it over. You're balancing on the top of your foot in your standing half lotus. Now you can stay here, or you can bring your foot up on your thigh. So, this is it. Stay and breathe. Now release, and I need some more of this. Monkey stretches, And now we'll come back to the front of our mat for the other side. So hands at heart, down to go up with our inhale, little back bend with our exhale, and a swan dive, forward fold. Right leg back and left, finding yourself in your downward facing dog. You may want to find some movement in this down dog, or you may just want to stop and breathe. Raise your left foot up, pointing your toes, and now flexing your foot. Again, pointing your toes, flexing your foot, and now bring that foot forward between your hands. Again, using your blocks if you choose. And think about, if you want to come up, then your warrior one or in your high lunge. Choice is yours. One more breath here. And now let's come on up. We're just going to stay and breathe. And now turning it into a high lunge, leaning forward. Now, grounding your hands next to your foot, bringing your knee to your mat to come up into devotion pose. Turning our devotion into a twist. Left hand behind, right hand in front. Arms overhead. One more breath. Framing your foot, rocking back into half monkey God. Stay here and breathe. Know that you can use your blocks. If you'd like, you can walk your hands forward for a head to knee. And now it's time to change. Grounding that left foot. Curling the toes of the back foot under, rising up into your pyramid. One more breath. And now bend your left knee, bring your right to meet your left. Finding yourself in your halfway lift. Let's come down into our forward fold and breathe. Swan dive up and touch. Add your back bend. Bring your arms down to go up. Finding your chair. Knees are deeply bent, that you can see your toes. One more breath, and hands to heart. Now let's twist to the left, placing your right elbow outside of your left thigh. And gaze over your left elbow, out at the horizon, down at your feet. Choice is yours. Coming back to center, and now into upward salute. Adding your back bend. Hands at heart for a resting breath. Inhaling open. Exhaling close. One more time to inhale open. And exhale close. Okay, I'm going to turn to face the front of the mat for balance on this side. I need some twist and slap. Some monkey stretches. And now let's think about our lotus. This time we're grounding on the left foot, bringing the top of our right foot across. Remembering our fourth chakra. Or if you choose, see if we can bring our foot up and find our lotus and breathe. Release. A little more of this. Okay, one more time to the top of our mat. Hands to heart. Let's go down to come up with our inhale. Exhale into our back bend. This time bringing our hands to heart center and starting our forward fold. Bending your knees as much as you need to get your hands on the mat. Take a breath. Come into your halfway lift, stretching in all directions. Hands back to the mat, and we're coming back to plank. So, right leg back, followed by the left, finding yourself in plank, knowing that you can come to your knees here if you choose to. So, take advantage of that. We're going to make this a side plank. So, again, you can do your side plank with one leg down. Place your right hand in the center of the mat. Pivot on your feet and raise your left hand up. Your feet can be stacked or one in front of the other. One more breath. Lower that hand and we'll just pivot over to the other side. Left hand in the center of the mat, right hand high. Take a breath. And now, slowly make your way to your mat. And let's go ahead and stack our forearms, rest our forehead, and sway our hips. Coming up into Sphinx. Elbows are under shoulders. Fingertips are parallel to the short edge of the mat. Let's raise your right leg. Turn and gaze over your right shoulder. Take a breath. Now lower. Raising your left leg. Turning. Take a breath. Lower. And now we're going to come up into a dolphin plank. So just curl your toes under and rise. Keeping your forearms on the mat. Take a breath. And now see if you can walk your feet up into a dolphin pose. Take a couple breaths here. Lower to the mat. Grab your blocks. Place them back by your feet. Our next posture is camel. So, all sorts of different ways to do camel. Usually starting with your hands at the small of your back. It's a chest opener. So, with your blocks, you can just take one hand back and then the other, resting them on your blocks. It's a great chest opener. Or, if you'd rather not use blocks, you can just curl your toes under, and again, one arm and then the other. Just let your chest open. Or you can just leave your feet flat and lean back. Okay, let's come down. Finding yourself in hero's pose. Bring your hands behind you. We're going to roll up on the top of our head for a seated yoga mudra. We have a counter stretch here. Let's release to a couple hero rolls. Exhaling down, inhaling up, again, exhaling down, and inhaling up. Bring your feet out in front of you, finding yourself in staff. Let's just do at least one forward fold. So inhaling up, and now exhaling down, grabbing wherever you want to, knees, shins, feet. If your arms are as long as mine, you can also use a block to stretch. And then roll up. We're going to make our way to our mat now, so bend your knees and slide your sit bones to about the middle of your mat. Coming down on your forearms, just slide on down. Going into first release pose, so bringing your feet out to the edges of your mat, leaving your knees TP together. Opposite hand to opposite shoulder. Just stay here and breathe. Now release, hands next to your hips, feet in next to your sit bones, 4-part pelvic tilt. So rocking forward onto your tailbone. Now reversing that action, flattening the small of your back to the mat. Roll up into your bridge. And once you feel comfortable with your bridge, raise your right leg to the sky. Take a breath. Now lower, rolling down. And now repeat. Rocking forward on your tailbone, flattening the small of your back on the mat, rolling up into your bridge. Take a breath, raise your left leg, lower and roll down. One more time to walk forward, back, roll up into your bridge, and this time just roll your shoulder blades underneath you and see if you can clasp your hands. in your bridge. Take a breath, relax. Let's roll on down, releasing your shoulder blades, bringing your knees in for a hug. Now let's ground both feet. Raise your right leg and start massaging that leg as you bring it forward. Lowering your left leg to the mat. Now raise your head up as if to bring your knee to your nose. Take a breath. Lower. Now take one more breath here before we change. Start by folding your knee, bringing your heel to your sit bones of your right leg, bringing your left hand to your right knee, your right hand out in a T. Start your twist. Gaze is over your right hand. Unwinding, coming back to the mat, both feet to the mat. Now raising your right foot, place your ankle on your left knee. Place your right hand through the window that you've made with your legs and clasp your fingers together on your shin or on your thigh, wherever it's most comfortable for you. Let's release. Right foot to the mat, left foot to the sky. Start our massage, bringing that leg closer to your head, lowering the opposite leg, and now raising your head as if to touch your knee to your nose. Lower your head, take a breath. Start to fold the left leg, bringing the left hand out in a T, guiding your left leg with your right arm across your body, and knee down twist. Always remembering your breath. Let's unwind. Footprints together in bound angle pose. May want to roll your shoulder blades under you. Bring your fingertips together in Trimurti Mudra, placing them on your abdomen, embracing all of life's changes. Now it's time for Shavasana. So you can stretch out in corpse pose if you like. You can curl up in fetal position if you'd like. You can take your mat to the wall and have legs up the wall. No, we'll be here for a few minutes, so if you want to grab your socks or a sweater, you sure can. Relax and breathe. This time is for you. if you haven't already rolled to one side or the other and made your way to set, please do so now. Let's bring hands to heart. One breath for the heart. One breath for the mind. And one breath for the spirit. Hands to heart. Sat Nam. Namaste. May you always find beauty in the imperfect. Thank you.